One of the best days of my life. You know, it was up there with winning the trophy itself. So.
What it would mean for us to potentially achieve a trophy is everything.
And it is more than football. It is football, but it's more than football because it means so much. We absolutely love this competition, love going to Wembley. You really can't beat it. And of course, this year, it's the only trophy we can possibly win now. So I wouldn't say all our eggs are in that. Yeah, I wouldn't say all our eggs in that basket because we've still got to achieve what we need to achieve in the league. But there really is nothing better than winning the cup in May, celebrating, seeing the players on the pitch.
In terms of what it would mean for us to potentially achieve a trophy is everything. What will be, will be. I can promise you this though, that sea of red and that noise will be ready for this occasion. Yeah, it's been quite the cup run. 3 penalty shootouts. I think we've almost, in the least cocky way, and I've got to be very careful what I say here, almost have a confidence with penalties now. We can almost, count on Matt Sells to save one of them at least.
But we have won at Wembley twice, I think, in penalties. Not in the FA Cup, but in the Carabao, our cup. So I don't think it'd hold any great fears for us either, but it's not really something you're looking forward to. It's one of those things where if you win, it's a great way to win a match. If you lose, it's one of the worst ways, because 1 minute you're in it and the last penalty and you're out and you're going home. 7 years in a row, something never to be dreamed of and probably unheard of. I don't think any other club's done that. And if we can get past Forest, 3 FA Cup finals in a row, I think it's hard to put your finger on why we're so consistent, apart from the fact that we've got an absolutely fabulous team. And we're now used to winning trophies, we're used to winning games in the Cup. We've done it consistently under Pep, and that winning habit feeds the winning habit, feeds the winning habit. So it's a big day for us on Sunday because we haven't had a trophyless season since 2016, 2017. I wouldn't say we're getting used to it, but it's great and it's a fantastic feeling. I think it's going to be really tight. I think it's going to be an incredible atmosphere. I think City will have a lot of the ball. Forest will have a few chances. And I think that if it doesn't go to penalties, which I hope it doesn't, then I think City will just nick it, maybe 2-1.
It's a real clash of styles. You're sort of regarded as the masters of your style, and we're sort of leading the gauntlet this season in the way of playing the way that we are. It could go any way, in my opinion. If you're going to push me on a score prediction, Forest will nick a goal, City will equalise late on, and it will go to pens. And then what will be, will be.
And you're going to the match?
Oh, you're damn right. I mean, my gosh, we haven't been to Wembley in a cup competition since 1991, so let's go.
Well, in that case, I'll see you at Wembley Way.
Yes, you will. Best of luck.
Hello and welcome to Matchday Live. It's Manchester City's 7th successive FA Cup semi-final. I've managed to find my way into the city and nice and early for our game. We already know that the winner will face Crystal Palace on May the 17th. What an occasion. This place never gets boring. Let's leave you with some amazing moments and we'll bring you team news from pitchside very, very shortly.
Semi-final FA Cup for 7 times in a row. This is the target. But when you have 7 times in a row, you play all the games, all the teams in the Premier League and Championship.
And Manchester City march triumphantly on to Wembley at the last 4 of the FA Cup. They unquestionably are the team to fear in the FA Cup semi-finals.
It's a special competition and we're a special club. Looking forward to the semi-final now at Wembley.
City are into another FA Cup semi-final. This extraordinary record they have. They've now
now reached their 7th semi-final in succession.
I'm sorry to tell you, but this is outstanding.
They're at Wembley once again. The Etihad Stadium South is going to be half filled with blues once again. Nottingham Forest now await for City.
Hello and welcome to Matchday Live. Welcome to Wembley. As you see our players greeting our mascots, it's the 7th successive time Manchester City have been here for an FA Cup semi-final. It's almost coming like a second home at this place. We take on Nottingham Forest in the semi-final for the winner facing Crystal Palace on May the 17th. Now, I mean, it's quite obvious to say who's going to be joining me pitchside, and it's the man who's absolutely everywhere every single week, Michael Brown. Brownie, we're watching the arrivals on the screen right now. Omar Mamouche looking very cool and composed. It's a big occasion, the FA Cup semi-final, isn't it?
It's a brilliant occasion. You talk about cup competitions, you talk about things of dreams of a youngster. When you first set off in this tournament, you stand in this stadium, FG, just look around, it's so special. We love coming here. Kevin De Bruyne has had a few games here, hasn't he? That's for certain. But, you know, this is what it's about. Big days like this. Obviously, it's very exciting for these Forest supporters, but what a day of football we're going to have. What a day of football, and what an occasion as we are envisioned for the first time here at Wembley. I mean, we know this place so well. We're so lucky to be here so much. Brownie, what do you make of sort of the atmosphere around? There's so many City fans. There's always sky blue shirts here. The weather seems to hold up really well. Well, so far. I don't want to jinx it. Well, let's hope so. Fingers crossed. We don't want that running down your forehead, do you, FG? But listen, do you know what's amazing? I went for a little jog down Wembley Way as usual. It's just a brilliant feeling. You watch the joy of the youngsters from both sets of supporters walking down Wembley Way, whether it be getting off the tube, whether it be getting another form, but it's just exciting as everybody's here early, all the way around, just outside the hotel where we're there, where the players were, and it's just a brilliant feel. Love it. I went for a run as well, but Brownie was a lot quicker than me, so let's just move on to the Manchester City team, shall we? We're going to reveal that for you exclusively here from Wembley. So in goal is a start for Stefan Ortega, and then it is Núñez, Ruben Diaz, our captain today, Josko Vardiol, Nico O'Reilly, a start for Rico Lewis, Mateo Kovacic, Bernardo Silva, Savinho, Jack Grealish and Omar Mamouche. Substitutes Edison back on the bench, good to see him back fit. Jeremy Doku, Nico, De Bruyne, Gundogan, Haish, Akanji, Kushinov and Phil Foden. Now looking at that team, first things first, what a bench that is, by the way. It's an incredibly strong one. It's a start for Jack Grealish here today at Wembley. Yeah, I think that's a great call, isn't it? Jack Grealish getting this opportunity, getting the nod in a big stage, and that's what you want as Pep Guardiola just drifts out down to our right-hand side, FG, just to come and get a little look at the surface. But, you know, we always look at the team, we always look what the manager's going to bring, but for Jack Grealish, what a chance for him again to come and try and get more minutes, whether he plays wide, whether he plays as a number 10, we will soon see. And we guess that every time, don't we, what type of team or what type of setup it's going to be. But lots of opportunities. It's a really strong team as expected. It is indeed. As we saw the live pictures of Pep, we are completely live here today on Matchday Live, which is amazing. He's looking like he's deep in thought, like he always is, Mr. Pep Guardiola. Going through his head, he's been in numerous semi-finals before, especially just as a Manchester City manager. He knows how big this competition is and how important it is for this club to win something this season. But I think that's a given. I think whoever knows Pep, it's like, it's not just this season, it's every single game, isn't it? When we're winning trebles, when we're winning 4 in a row, the next day he's sort of up going, right, how can I make us better? How can I keep this momentum? How can I make us win? So it's about the approach, isn't it? The level of performance from the players has been brilliant for many years now under the manager, and it'd be great to see another trophy. We want to see that. We want to see big days here. We love coming into this stadium and getting the results. It's going to be tough though, isn't it, against the Forest side? But, you know, some of the change, Rico Lewis as well, getting an opportunity in the middle of the pitch also. So, you know, what about for Nico O'Reilly? Amazing, isn't it? What an opportunity, and what a amount of confidence he's been shown by the manager. He seems to be starting that back four, sort of seems to pick itself at the minute. Núñez, of course, with that last gasp winner against Aston Villa. What a moment that was, especially in the race for the top 5. And then you have the new form partnership of our captain today, Ruben Diaz, Josko Vardiol, and then, like you said, that man Nico O'Reilly. Yeah, Josko Vardiol's slotted in really well, hasn't he? In that area, we've seen him predominantly in that left-back position, wondering how he was going to get on, but it's no problem for him. Ruben Diaz is just exactly what it says on the tin, isn't it? Proper leader, he's organiser, he gives everything, he's always ready to go, so exactly what we expect. The role for Rico Lewis today could be interesting. How are we going to do it? Are we going to see something different that we always think, we always maybe overthink it before Pep does and think something special is going to come, or is he just going to slot in the middle? We'll soon see.
This man has spent way too much time with me, because that was going to be my next question. Where is Rico Lewis going to be playing today? When you look at it and you look
You've
at the
only got one question. What are you going to do now?
Well, this is the problem,
you're going to have to get teed up.
We'll have to start talking about something else in a minute, Brownie. You're getting too good at this. But like you said, that midfield, City fans might be a little bit surprised seeing that as the midfield. Kovacic, Bernardo, Rico to start with. De Bruyne on the bench.
See how you said Bernardo? Is he going to be there? Is it going to be Jack Grealish? So, honestly, I mean, will there be surprise? I don't necessarily say surprised. I don't see as that being one of those. I think a no Kevin De Bruyne would be one of those. Why? What's the thought process there? What can you bring different? This is a dangerous Forest team. They're good on the counter-attack. They're really good at soaking up pressure. So unless he sees as an extra player in the middle that he can use in a different way to create a little overload centrally, I think that could be important for him.
What have you made of Omar Marmoush as well, a man that can play pretty much anywhere across the front? He's been brilliant, hasn't he? And especially in the Aston Villa game, we saw real glimpses of him taking on his full-back and really positive every time he's getting on the ball.
I was having this chat with a few people, but obviously before we come here, and about what he is, where's he going to be, what's his natural position. We don't necessarily know where that is at this moment in time, but what we do know, he's infectious, he gets on the ball, causes problems, can be dangerous in key areas, not always as clean to the eye as others, but he's got a great willing, he's got great energy, and he's got an understanding, and he's getting better and better, he's getting more calm, more composed, and he's doing very, very well. Will we see him leading the line? Will we see it a bit slightly different? I don't think that always matters, does it? It's just about, obviously, the team controlling this game early on in this really special afternoon of football.
Yeah, it is indeed, as we saw the pictures of Marmoush a little bit earlier on. Now, if we have a look around pitch side before we head back, you might be able to spot a certain Manchester City legend about to do a little hit. He's working here, Nader Manua, he's looking good. We'll see if we can maybe catch a word with him. But as you can see, he's hard at work, Rowdy, or hardly working.
This is the start, isn't it? He's just waiting. He's not even looking. But he's, is that his hamstring that sore?
He's just spotted us as well.
Oh, there it is. Look, a star. Look at this.
I might just try and have a little walk over to him. He's about to go live. But this is the beauty of Wembley. We can do what we want. Hello, my friend.
Hello.
Quick question from the studio. Hard at work or hardly working?
Right now, kind of like you, hardly working, mate.
Quick one, what do you think about what Brownie's wearing today?
To be fair, he was trying to call me country club casual. Look at him with the flipping thing over his shoulders.
Do you know what's funny, right? I can't hear what he's saying. He's coming after me, isn't he? I know he is.
Great to catch up with you, Nader. What a
Come
man,
on, FG,
right?
tell me what he's done.
I tell you what, listen, no, he wasn't saying anything.
Yeah,
he said you look fantastic.
Yeah, I can imagine. He's already had to go about the jumper. I know it was the jumper, wasn't it?
He already knows, you see. That's exactly what it was. Let's head to the studio now, shall we? We can actually go live there, I think, and we can see some of our guests in the studio. Oh, what a lineup that is. We've got Chris, we've got Andy, we've got Nicky Weaver, and we've also got a frozen screen with you on it right now. We actually can't see the studio right now.
It's no problem, is it? But the guys are going to pick up, are they? Nicky Weaver, Andy Morrison have been looking on. I'm sure they'll have something to say about it.
You know what? I've only thrown back to the studio because I'm so out of breath after that jog.
It was quite far for you to
It was a tough one. Listen, Chris, I can hear you anyway. I can't see you guys. I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're in the FA Cup fever.
Certainly are. Just a quick word from Nicky Weaver, who is watching you, Michael Brown. Word on the jumper, Weaves?
I think he looks pretty good, just not sure about the jumper, Brownie. I think if you'd have just...
I might put it on a bit. If the weather changes, I can maybe take it off or I'll get it on. You know, I've just mixed it up a bit. It's the semi-final, it's the FA Cup. You've got to do something different. We're in London, aren't we? It's always warmer down here.
You're on TV that much, Brownie, you've got to mix it up.
Yeah, it's true. You've got to change the wardrobe every week. We're in London, aren't we? Like Neil Warnock. Hey, lads, just a quick one on jumpers. Andy Morrison is wearing a jumper that I've seen before. Tell us a bit about your jumper.
Well, this has not been out since last year's semi-final, and I'm not... one of those people who look too deep into things, but, this is the third year on the trot now. It's on the semi-final, so it's looking promising.
He's a national treasure, by the way.
Sometimes you just don't speak.
I mean, look, there's no need for us to speak anymore. Look, we're having a great time here, and you're obviously having a great time in the studio as well.
FG.
National treasure.
Especially after your little jog. You're a national treasure too, but you go and have a little dab, and we'll see you in a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll go and have some water. Cheers, guys.
All right, see you in a bit, gents. Right, so welcome to the studio for Matchday Live. FG, Michael Brown are going to be with us throughout the build-up and half-time and post-match live from Wembley Stadium. Myself, Chris Latchem, right here in the studio with two absolute legends in Nicky Weaver and Andy Morrison. We've already covered the Jumpers game. Let's focus on this team because we've been chatting away about it. We had a little early steer on the team from the guys close to the club. We can't quite agree on how they're going to line up today. What's your thoughts on this?
Listen, from the outset, it's a very strong team, as we knew it would be. As Brownie and FG mentioned, really strong bench as well if he needs to alter it. But yeah, I think it'll be the same back four as it has been. Be interesting to see exactly where Rico's going to slot in. But I think by putting Rico in there, probably, obviously gets mentioned a lot. It's an ageing midfield, obviously very young, got plenty of energy, lots of legs in there. So yeah, maybe it offers a little bit more protection because we know how dangerous Forest can be on the counter.
Is Rico the anomaly for you? Because he's got the ability to play central midfield, holding midfield. He's played higher up the field, as we've seen, but he can also fill in at either fullback, which to me I've got lines going all over my team sheet. I can't decide how they're going to line up.
Yeah, I don't think until maybe 5 minutes in will we get an idea. What I can assure you is Ortega will be in goal. And that's the
Are you sure?
With Gavardio, Diaz, Nico Riley, and I think Bernardo will be the deepest. I think the rest of it, I think Núñez will end up really high, which will allow Savinho to come into midfield. But I think when we're playing against these teams who counter-attack and the way that Villa played, Pep's really switched on with the switch over in midfield and making sure that, if we have to force the opposition wide, then so be it, but not to break through the middle of us. And I think that's where we'll be very, very compact today.
Yeah, the one thing I would say is that the back four, as has been recently, has performed really well. I was at the game on Tuesday. I was doing match commentary. I spoke to Matheus Núñez after the game. What a moment for him in his Manchester City career to score that winner so late.
Yeah, he's had to wait a long time for his first Premier League goal. And both fullbacks have done really well, haven't they? Obviously, both offensively. Nico's... it's fantastic from Jeremy Docker, who's got that pace. They could do that. And it's almost a De Bruyne-like pass, isn't it?
Beautiful.
He's still got a lot to do. It's not just a little tapping on the back stick, it's quite beyond the back post. It's
and
a good
the defender is taking his eye as well.
Absolutely.
Surely.
So it's not as easy as... Listen, you'd expect him to score, but, this stage of the game, that could prove to be, a massive, massive goal. And he had to slightly lift it over the defender as well. So, yeah, and you can see when it pans to Pep, how much it meant to him. So people talk about, is he still relishing it? Has he still got it, that fight in him? And I think the stadium erupted. I mean, look at Pep's reaction there. Absolutely fantastic. And, there's a man who it means everything to. And I think he's really relishing this season as well because obviously last 7 or 8 years it's just been winning. And now it's a different kind of pressure. So listen, he's up for it and, I'm sure he'll be up for it today.
Yeah, he's been saying, hasn't he, Pep Guardiola, that every Premier League game is a final, every game's a final. We've got to get Champions League, every game's a final. It's nice to have a relaxing semi-final for once.
Well, it's 7 years. I didn't know that stat until it's been said today. It's remarkable. The standards that have been set, the expectations, to turn up at Wembley and get to another final. And, slightly, a slight step back in what we've achieved this season. But again, if you get to a final and Champions League football, I think with the amount of problems we've had, and it's not something that you want to keep going on about. But when you've lost Rodri at the start of the season, and Kevin De Bruyne has had so many problems with injuries, and then the big thing for me is what excites me today is that the two centre-halves, we've had them together now for maybe 5-6 games, and we've not had that all season. There's been over 25 changes in the centre-half pairing, and let me tell you the importance of that. So that continuity, that awareness of each other and working together. We've not had that all season. And the other teams who are sat in 1 and 2 in the Premier League have had both
consistency of selection,
all season. Absolutely. So, they're again there today, and I think we'll see. I was really, really impressed with how well they played against Villa in midweek. We did the commentary on it, and I was so pleased with the way they dealt with Rashford. And then when Watkins come in, and they look like they're beginning to build something, and I know the manager will be pleased with that.
Yeah, the manager's spoken up about Nico O'Reilly a lot this season, but this has been the tournament, really, where he cut his teeth in the first team. He played really well against Salford. We covered the Plymouth game. He scored a couple of goals in that one as well. He pops up with important goals at important moments, and he gets his nod again at left back today.
Yeah, and he's really intelligent, and there was something that we spotted on the commentary. I mean, everybody's saying about when Diaz come on for Villa, that how quick Pep was to change it with Doku, but there was so much more detail to it, and the way that he asked Nico Riley to step inside to create passing lines, and there's so many little plots that are going on. But the big thing I took from the game was that Pep tried to win the game. His decisions were made. Emery tried to stop us winning the game, and that's what I think the mentality of the manager is. It'll be the same today. He'll try and find a way to win. And as a coach, where I've coached and you played against far superior opposition, it's so much easier to stop a team than it is to go and beat them. And that's what Pep. Today, the questions will be asked him again. How are you going to go and break down this deep block? How are you going to... We're looking at that team selection, not sure how it's going to set up. How high will Nunes be up on the right-hand side? Will Rico give us that guard? I think we've talked about the shape of the team, but Pep's always looking for a way to win, not interested in stopping the opposition.
And there you go. You can see the keepers coming out for their warm-up. Scott Carson and Ederson. It's great to see Ederson back as part of the warm-up squad, the matchday squad, but it's the man walking at the front who takes the gloves today, Stefan Ortega. It'll be his third appearance in a row. Came on for Ederson, didn't he, when he was injured against, was it Southampton? Brilliant assist in that game for Ederson, but he went off with the bad hamstring. Ortega made some good saves as well from Rashford on Tuesday night against Aston Villa. I actually spoke to Pep on Tuesday night after the game and said, the goal went in so late, it was 93-22. When it went in, not 93-20. And he said, I didn't know. He said, that's important because 93-20 belongs to Sergio Aguero back in 2012. But he was really pleased that Nunes got his moment. Let's focus on Jack Grealish, who gets his first start in 5 games for City. His last start was the Leicester game in which he scored, and he's had to find himself back on the bench. But today he's got a big job to do and a big opportunity to do it in front of loads of fans at Wembley.
Yeah, and he'll see it as a massive opportunity. As a big game player, played in huge games throughout his career. This season's been a little bit, 2 steps forward, 1 step back for Jack, but we all know what he's capable of. Obviously, Pep's got full faith in him today. Probably start off out wide, but he can drift into central areas, and he draws a lot of fouls. He's a good ball carrier. And I think he'll be happy he got the monkey off his back with the goal, because a lot was made of it. It'd been over a year since his previous goal. But yeah, listen, Jack Grealish, can he rise to the occasion? I'm sure he can. Pep will have seen something this week in training. That's why he's put him in the team. As you said, he's not started for a while, so he'll be fresh. And there'll be no one more eager to put in a good performance than Jack himself.
Would you imagine him central or out on the left today?
I think, apart from that positions we spoke about, which I feel is cemented, I think the rest of it is going to be rotations. I think Jack's going to, is going to give us that opportunity to keep the ball, try and move Forest around to create openings in different areas. But, yes, maybe start wide, drifting inside, and there'll be times where he'll come inside and Nico Riley will be the highest up the pitch. The same Savinio will come inside and Nunes will be the highest up the pitch. So to actually pin him down is difficult. But he has the ability to, against a team who are going to sit off. We were looking at the stats earlier on. It's remarkable that in midweek against Spurs, Spurs had 23 opportunities to Forest 4 and won the game. And they had 30% possession. I mean,
they don't want the ball and they don't need it.
No, and they're finding a way to win, which is why I have such respect for the manager, because, Pep's kind of like reinvented football over the last decade. And every manager has to, almost at times they're asked to follow this certain way of playing. And he hasn't, and he's found a way to win and to bring success. So a lot of respect there, because they've quite happy, to be 28 to 32% possession, which in the Premier League, is unheard of.
That was very similar to I was at the game at Forest a few weeks ago when they beat us 1. It was very similar then. Not really bothered about stats, not really bothered about possession, but boy, with Elanga, Hudson-Odoi, Morgan Gibbs-White, who pulls the strings in the middle foot. So they've got. The turnover is going to be massive today. Lose possession, and it's all about recovery. Because, like Andy says, they're quite ambitious, and then they just want to hit you. And no one wants to defend against pace, and Forest have got that. It's Hudson-Odoi who scored the winner that game. And yeah, the only stat that really matters is the goals. And on that day, it was, 1 to Forest and 0 to City.
But saying it, when I've looked at the leagues and the way the perception of football is, it's fine while you're winning. and it's fine while you're in the top three.
Yeah.
When it starts going against you,
fans turn quick.
The fans turn very quickly and begin asking questions. We don't want to see this back to the walls. But while you're winning, there's almost
everything's all right while you're
everything's
winning.
okay.
Yeah, of course it is.
Isn't it just? I mean, there's been spells at Manchester City this season where it's got difficult, but Pep has said if I was at another club, they might not have been so patient with me. Let's see if some of those names that you've mentioned are in the starting team for Nottingham Forest today. There you go. There is the team coming in. So Matt Sells is going to go in goal. He's kept more clean sheets in the Premier League than anybody else this season. The defence is Murillo. Milenkovic will be at the back. Danilo will be in there as well. And there's a name that we will not recognise. Right down the bottom there, Zach Abbott. I think he's going to be one of the fullbacks today, along with Harry Toffolo. We'll get on to young Zach Abbott today. A shock, surprise inclusion because of some of the injuries that they've got. Nico Dominguez will play in the midfield. Elliot Anderson there. You mentioned Morgan Gibbs-White is so good pulling the strings. Callum Hudson-Odoi, we think, will be off one of the wings. And then Chris Wood, who is just having the season of his life, will play in attack for Nottingham Forest. Firstly, I mean, we've got a special guest who's coming on a little bit later on from the Manchester City under 18s team. Freudian slip. We're going to ask him about what it's like to be, on the fringes and on your pathway into the first team. But this young Zach Abbott kid, he's 18, he's made one appearance all season. This is an FA Cup semi-final.
I mean, what a moment for the lad and his family. Absolutely unbelievable. He's only there because of injuries, but I'm sure Nuno wouldn't play him. He didn't have full trust in him. He's played one game earlier in the season, the League Cup. I think he said it was against Newcastle.
Yeah, they lost on pens.
He'll certainly be fresh, won't he? But yeah, massive occasion for him. We obviously all want City to do well, but let's hope he does well as well, because it's a huge occasion for him and one that he'll never ever forget.
I think when you see Alanga on the bench and you look at the threat and what he's brought this year, I mean, how he's thinking how City are going to play it and how he's going to try and match that up and stop City. It amazes me that you would put an 18-year-old into a game of this size. You wouldn't find a way of manoeuvring your team around. When you think about the experience that they do have. Isn't it? It really is, but there must be something in training, there must be something in the lad's personality that he believes he has the qualities that can go into such a huge game. And also, it'll be very, very clear what his role will be. You're going to be sat in a deep block. You're not going to be. You'll be doubled up. You'll be. You won't be exposed. You'll be surrounded by players. So it's not like the only time maybe when they're in possession is when Forest are at their most vulnerable. Is when they actually break and then you counter the counter. So but a brave decision from the manager.
Well, the options are limited because Nico Williams is suspended, Ola Aina is injured, Harry Toffolo's come in on the one side, we think Zach Abbott's going to come in on the other, so great opportunity for him, but perhaps somewhere for Savinho to probe. He loves to get wide, he loves to take on the fullbacks.
Yeah, listen, like Andy said, there'll be bodies around. They're not going to leave themselves exposed. They'll be looking to hit us on the counter. But yeah, if Savinho has an on day, which he has done a lot this year, really down. What I like about Savinho is he's obviously heavily left-footed, but he doesn't just cut in on his left. He goes to the byline on his right.
Old school, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And he's a player that gets supporters off the seats because he's exciting. He's a wingate. He's chipped in with some important goals this year, lots of assists. So he's someone I'm really looking forward to playing. So yeah, and obviously on the other side, if Jack Grealish is there, they're sort of different sort of players. But yeah, they're going to have threats all over the pitch, City. It's if we can break this, as Andy said, this low block. It's if we can break it down.
Just in case any of our viewers are watching this going, why did he say Manchester United? I've just been told Manchester United are losing 1-0 to Bournemouth. And they're in the second of 9 minutes added on. So that's why it's snuck in. So maybe I've won back one or two City fans there. There we go. Apologies, everybody at home. But now you've got your reasoning. Forest defenders have been excellent this season. And they've had to be because they've had to soak up a lot of pressure. How different is the challenge for them today? They might have thought when the draw was made that they might have been up against Erling Haaland, but it's going to be Omar Marmoush at the tip of the spear.
Yeah, and I think we saw that in midweek, how the last 2 or 3 games, especially Villa midweek, how we've dominated the ball and dominated those central areas where Pep's really aware of the turnover in possession and then leaving us exposed to the counter-attack. I've not felt that so much over the last 5-6 weeks that I did feel maybe December time. We seem to teams just seem to be opening us up and too easy to get in behind our back line and to get shots, and that seems to be nullified at the minute. You know, I remember in midweek a lot of people were asking where are we going to get our width from, but if you've got out and out width and they're actually planted out there, then you're losing some solidity in the middle, and we look so solid at the minute, and I think Pep's happy with that. As long as you arrive at the right times, you're creating opportunities, and then it's about players arriving on the edge of the box. The 2 goals, the first goal is Marmoush and a pullback, you know, so those are the kind of goals we're going to create, but slightly different today with what you would say conventional wide men. But no, I like the solid shape to how we're playing at the minute, and we don't look as though we're as exposed as we were earlier in the season.
Yeah, Pep said a quote before the Villa game. He said, we've had our wobbles, but it feels like we're in a stable position again.
I think as well, in the last 7 or 8 years, City have always found a way, and in the middle part of this season we didn't find a way, and now we're finding a way, as we did against Villa in the week. So things are starting to, the tide's turning. The winning gains confidence, and yeah, so they'll be going into the game full of confidence, but also knowing it's going to be a really difficult game.
Yeah, right. We're going to take you back to Wembley Stadium live now, because the 2 Stooges are there. We've got FG on the left waving. We've got Michael Brown, still got the jumper around his shoulders. Lads, just quickly, Nottingham Forest have gone through on penalties in each of the last 3 rounds. It's the first time any team have ever done that. Have they been going through their shooting drills?
I mean, look, I'd back myself to score a penalty if I was a professional footballer, Brownie.
Would you?
Have you missed a...
Yeah, not with Nicky Weaver in goal, wouldn't
he?
He's the king of saving penalties. Out your Weaves, you tell him. He's got no chance. Let's set it up, a penalty, FG against Weaves.
Honestly, right. Well, Nicky Weaver's a bit different. Oh, a lot of noise. Here come the Nottingham Forest players, actually.
Ooh, some big boosts. Take it away, FG.
Obviously, of course, it's... Thank you very much to everyone in the studio. Of course, it's a massive day for Nottingham Forest. It goes without saying. Their fans have come in their numbers as well. They're making a lot of noise. Our goalkeepers are just going through their warm-ups right now. We've got a DJ, we've got Moonbeam and Moonchester over there that are staring at us right now. And we've also got the Nottingham Forest team, which we will be bringing to you in a second. Just on that point, Brownie, how many penalties would you score against Nicky Weaver?
Maybe 9 out of 8.
9 out of 8, wow. We'll definitely do it. Oh, well, they've already done the team, by the way, in the studio, so we're just reviewing
fine,
it.
Isn't it? But what a moment it is. Zach Abbott maybe coming in at full-back. What a moment for him. Nico Williams suspended as well. Just like James McAtee, you just go under the radar, these FA Cup suspensions, don't they?
I mean, what an opportunity as well for the young man to play against Manchester City as well, a team that have, of course, dominated English football for so long. When you look at that Nottingham Forest team, and especially this man who's on the screen right now, Morgan Gibbs-White, who's the captain today, he's talked about a lot, and he's talked about a lot for a reason, because he's had a fantastic season, hasn't he?
I really like him. I think he could wear many, many different coloured shirts, FG. I like him that much, for obvious reasons, but... Do you know what he is become infectious. He's become really good out of possession. He's got that flair, got that understanding to jump forward. Very unselfish. Morgan Gibbs-White is a brilliant player, so they've got the work cut out as well, haven't they? Wood at the top of the pitch has been really good. Langer in wide areas, obviously we're not going to see him at this moment in time from the start, but Hudson-Odoi, Elliot Anderson, as the teams come out right on cue. The atmosphere is brilliant, FG.
The atmosphere is brilliant indeed as our Manchester City players come out to warm up. A lot of them are used to it, a lot of them have been here before, but they're fully aware. When you step into an arena like this and you hear the noise from both sets of fans, it just adds to the occasion a lot more, doesn't it?
It does, they know. It just gives them that lift, it gives them the momentum. They come out, they see the stage, they see the size of it, and you look at the youngsters in the picture just here with Nico O'Reilly, Rico Lewis. They'll be really feeling. I mean, Kovacic is just like, yeah, another game, but he'll still feel it. He'll still really want it. But it just is what it is, isn't it? You have to be ready for it. Top games, top sort of performances are needed, and it's a massive game.
Yeah, it's a massive game indeed. I'm noticing on the pitch as well, these players seem to do the same routines as well. We always notice it. We always see, the players passing to each other. We see Kovacic and Vardiol always passing to each other. I mean, when you're warming up in this start, is it just a case of just getting the ball at your feet?
I think it is. It's just getting a feel, getting your body going. Then obviously some players will want more of a sort of a few strides before the proper warm-up. When the team comes together, then it's a controlled environment, then it's together. Some like to do some long passes, short passes, some don't even want to see the ball. It's everyone just getting a feel, just getting the body moving, getting ready, Obviously the prep's been done as well behind the scenes in the dressing room, regards to the stretching, the physio, the medical things are all on hand. But now it's the moment, just getting wired in, getting ready, and then the warm-ups start to increase a little bit.
And there's two of our young centre-halves who have just strolled onto the pitch. They're both on the bench today, of course. Victor Heisch and Kushinov. I mean, big futures for both of them.
Yeah, it is. That's what I mean. This is you're playing for Manchester City. If you've got an opportunity to come into this sort of position now, whether you start or whether you're on the bench, it's so important that the detail, that the level of performance is needed full time, and that's only normal, isn't it? So you've got to be ready, and your chance could come very, very quickly.
Yeah, your chance could come very quickly. Sorry, Brownie. There was just a little bit of an incident like we had on tour with me and Sean Wright Phillips. I'd just been attacked by a bat. There's a lot of insects around here right now, isn't there?
You'll be fine, FG. You'll be fine. He's dancing around. Look, he's running everywhere. They're all coming for him. It's the suit, FG, I think it is. Look.
I'm never wearing this.
I told you
again.
to wear a jumper around your neck. That's what happens. But we were supposed to be discussing Forest's threat, and we've gone on there watching you get attacked.
Well, yeah, I've been getting attacked. I mean, Callum Hudson-Odoi as well, but Chris Wood, he's had an amazing season. Chris Wood. When you're playing as a striker and you're scoring goals like that, and your team's doing as well as what they are, this is just another opportunity for him as well. And is he one of the surprise packages of the season, would you say?
Well, only just. I think Forest are obviously the main surprise package, and that's become because of his goals, because of the collective unit that they've produced. But what's really good, FG, with them is they don't mind not having the ball. They'll stay for such a long period of time, say it's okay, we'll just keep our shape, but then they just step out of it quickly. The wider position's so quick, they can counter very, very quickly, whether it's now or whether it's later on in the game. It doesn't really matter, but what they've got with him at the top, and that focal point, is that somebody who's been there, done it, got the composure, can hold it up, can drop it down, and the crosses come, he's somewhere around it.
I've just been told in my ear that there's a very special guest in the studio as well. Harrison Miles is in the studio as well. Is that correct? Can we throw to the studio now and have a look?
You certainly can. Harrison, you were just saying something off there. What do you want to say?
Yeah, Brownie, I don't know why you're taking the mick out of FG. You need to take the jumper off.
Shots fired.
Get in there, my son.
Lots of words.
Yeah.
You've got wait, one
what
more
chance this kid has got?
Harrison, who's the more drippier, me or Brownie today? It's a question for Harrison.
FG.
Thank you. Yeah, there you go. Star of the future, Harrison.
Are you okay, Harrison?
No,
everything
okay,
all
right. We'll come
You
to
had a
feed
late
to
night?
Wembley for now. Thanks very much for now, lads. Back with you later.
Is he all right?
Touched the nerve.
Come on, Harrison.
Now, I tell you what, you're gonna fit right in here. Harrison Miles has joined us in the studio, and he's a very special guest at a very important time of the season, because yesterday you guys pulled off something special in the under-18s, getting the win in the very last minute against Derby County. 4-3 win, not just to win the game. What else happened?
We won the league.
It's unbelievable. Talk us through this moment. This is the moment that won the Premier League North.
Yeah, look, unbelievable from Finn. Lovely little set-up. Yeah, it's just
And Matty Warhurst with the swivel. Right. Look at these scenes.
Striker's instinct.
Oliver Rice is leading the charge there into the huddle. You're there somewhere underneath.
Yeah.
Colo Torre showing his turn of pace. He's still got it. And everybody's in there. Where are you? Point us out here.
I'm at the bottom. You can't really see me at
Hang
the minute.
on.
You see me get up in a minute.
Where's Harrison? He's on the right of the huddle, on the bottom, underneath. There he is.
There he is.
There was a moment you told me you had to shut your eyes.
Yeah.
It all got a bit much.
Yeah, it all got a bit much. Honestly, when that went in, I was lost for words.
Like Michael Brown when you just insulted his jumper.
Yeah. No, it was a special moment. Obviously, I mean, that's the first time I've ever won anything in my career.
Is that right?
Playing football, yeah. So, I mean, it was a pretty special moment for me anyway. But yeah, no, it was a mixture of emotions in that game. We went 2-0 down, and then we went 3-2, and then it was 3-3 in the 90th minute. So, I mean, yeah, it was a mixture of emotions.
Yeah, absolutely. So you still got the one big game, which is the national final. We don't know who you'll be playing yet.
Yeah, not yet.
From the South, but you basically play the North champions versus the South, and the winner is the season-long champion, right?
Yeah, that's
And
right.
you've got the Youth Cup final to come against Aston Villa.
Youth Cup final, can't wait. Not this Monday, but next Monday. Hopefully we can be crowned champions.
Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. The 5th of May, right? So
Yeah,
Harrison,
5th of May.
this is your first season with Manchester City, signed from Southampton last year. He's just 16 years old?
Yeah, just 16.
God, what a future this guy's got.
Absolutely. Well, I think he's got a future just insulting Brownie there when we started. But it's amazing. Me and Andy were talking about our FA Youth Cup days, and you only get 2 shots at it, when a first-year scholar and a second-year scholar. So, you know, you make memories there that'll last for a lifetime. And I think, you know, I go to a few City functions here and there, and you know, people still talk about when City won it in '86, I think it was, with the likes of Paul Lake and Ian Brightwell and all these sort of. So it's such an important thing. Obviously, they've been successful in recent years. So yeah, obviously doing well, and you can see what it means to them. And
Full-time scenes,
yeah.
Oliver Rice, Kolo Touré.
I mean, all the things that Kolo Touré's done in his career, and is, you know, running down to get involved in the pilot.
What minute was it, the winning goal?
Was it the 91st, I think it was?
And then how long after that?
There must have been about a minute and a half
Was it?
left.
So you know, and you can feel the
But it was a back and
celebration.
forward game as well. So
Yeah.
you guys knew at half-time, didn't you, that Manchester United had drawn?
Yeah. So we needed United to lose or draw to give us a chance of winning it.
And when it's
yesterday.
scripted like that to go to 3-3,
Yeah.
you get the winning goal, and you know there's a minute. We can just see this minute out, so you can feel the energy. It's brilliant to see.
Yeah,
It really is.
Yeah, it was a really tough game. Derby, a really tough opponent. We've played them twice before this, and it was we lost 1 and won 1. So, I mean, just to beat them as well, I think was a really nice touch to it as well. I think.
Yeah, and you look at the faces and you look at the emotions in these young men.
Yeah.
It's just wonderful to see how much it means. And I'm sure last night was fabulous for you, was it?
Yeah, no, it was. To be fair, I was chilled out. I was upstairs living here, and everyone had gone home. So, I mean, I got to chill out and relax and recover.
Brilliant.
These are, I don't want to sound like an old man, but these are the memories that will live with you forever. Yeah. Whatever you go on to achieve, wherever direction your career takes you, you'll always remember the guys that were alongside you there.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, everyone in that team's a special player. Everyone in that team played a special part in winning the league, and so, I mean, yeah, that's a special group that we've got, I think.
Brilliant. Well done.
Well done. So you guys are on this mad run of 22 games unbeaten.
I think it is 22, yeah.
The last defeat came against Derby County, so the season didn't start well. We should point that out. There was a draw and a defeat in the first 2, and then since then you've won every game, right?
Yeah, that is right.
What does that feel like to be part of a squad that's just churning out those wins?
To be honest, I don't really know. I think when you're in it and doing it, I don't think you can really display or even comprehend the emotions that you're feeling. So I think maybe ask that question next season and I'll be able to tell you.
Yeah, and obviously you've got the influence of Oliver Rice, Kolo Touré, who we've just seen on the VT there as well. What have they said to you about the FA Youth Cup? Because you know what football's like, nothing stands still, you're on to the next challenge.
Yeah, look, I mean, obviously winning the league was an unbelievable moment yesterday, but I think that everyone's focused on trying to do more. I think the mindset of the group and why we've done so much this season is because of the mindset and the standards that we hold each other accountable. Everyone at training's working hard, wanting to win, and we've still got that hunger. I feel like there's still more to go. There's still a lot more that we can achieve as a group, I think.
Yeah, the final's going to be at Villa Park against Aston Villa, and 20,000 we think is going to be there. What will these guys learn from an occasion like that, Andy? Well,
first and foremost is to enjoy it. Enjoy the occasion and don't miss it. You know, bring your attention to the game. What I find interesting is the run that you're on, and you know the belief that must be in the team going into that game. You know, you must be full of confidence. And what do you know about Villa? Have you played them?
No, we haven't. They're
played in the South, aren't they?
Yeah, they play in the Southern League. And I think they're doing very well in that as well. And I think they've got a chance of winning that league as well. So.
Oh, right. So it's the 2 top teams in the country.
Brilliant.
Wow.
Yeah. No, it's meant, honestly, it's crazy. It's crazy. Imagine playing them in the FA Youth Cup final and then playing them in the North East South final would be special, I think.
So what's the biggest crowd you've played in front of in your career so far?
I think it was against Watford in the semi-final, and I think that was about 4,500
at Vicarage Road.
At Vicarage Road, yeah.
20,000 will be a huge experience. You'll have lots of friends and family there, won't you?
Yeah, loads of friends and family.
Yeah.
Just a quick one, Harrison. I think you've still got all your own teeth. You lost some of yours.
Well, we were talking about this before. My early memory was 1987. We played Doncaster. I was at Plymouth, and it was the 4th round. It was the furthest we'd got. And an incident in about 70 minutes, I lost my front 6 teeth as a centre half. I had them kicked out, but I've managed to have them replaced, so
Did
they
you
look a
play
lot
on?
better. Of course I played on.
Did you?
Of course I played on. Yeah, absolutely.
It's just a few kings, don't worry about it. Got to win the game. That is incredible. Just one final question for you. When you look at the current Man City team, you've got Phil Foden, who's so decorated. He's been away with England to major tournaments. He's won all the awards at the end of a Premier League season. You've got Nico O'Reilly and James McAtee bursting through now. How much do you look to them for kind of inspiration for your own journey?
Yeah, look, I think just those three players that you've mentioned there, I think that really showcases the pathway that the club has and shows, and that, I think that's what attracts a lot of players coming in from under 9s, under 8s, under 9s to under 16s, signing as a scholar. I think that's one major selling point, so to say, to attract the players that they can. And I think the pathway is very clear. I think you see Nico O'Reilly settling in. I think he played his first game like he didn't look out of place. I feel like he slotted in very well, and he's just gone from there, just from strength to strength, and now he's playing today, and hopefully we can get the win.
FA Cup semi-final at Wembley. It's not bad, is it?
Imagine.
Fingers crossed your pathway will follow a similar route.
Hopefully I can do it.
Yeah, well, listen, Harrison, it's been brilliant talking to you. Congratulations on the achievement. You're just getting started, still got the FA Youth Cup. Stick around, because we're going to have a look at one of the players you've just been talking about there, Nico O'Reilly, who has made such an immediate reaction and impression on this Manchester City team. Fantastic form, huge impact on the FA Cup run, and we caught up with him to discuss his journey and his current run.
I think it was towards the end of last season. I had a meeting with the academy manager, and they just said there'll be quite a lot of players going away with the first team for pre-season, so just make sure you come back in good shape and ready to kick on. It was a very exciting feeling. Obviously there's only a few first team players that went because everyone was away with international, but yeah, I was buzzing to go. Got moved into the first team changing room, and from there I've just been with them ever since. It's a lot different, there's a lot of change. The intensity on the pitch is a lot higher, stuff like this. It's a lot more demanding. You've just got to act like a professional every day, so it's a big change. It's something I've always dreamt of. Yeah, I was just buzzing to play in it. It's been good. It's where I got majority of my game time. Yeah, I was just trying to impress every game. Something I've always dreamt of as well. And also to score at the Etihad was a great feeling. Yeah, I mean, it was tough at the start, I'd say, positioning wise. I didn't know what I was doing at the start. Even still now, I'm still learning the positions and stuff to try and get it right. But yeah, my natural position's a midfielder, either 8 or 10. Even when I'm playing left back, I'm still trying to use my midfielder skills, obviously doing my defensive duties as well. Yeah, I think it's been a smooth transition. I've adapted pretty well. I mean, going back onto the positioning thing, I'm still learning how to play a new position. So yeah, I'm just trying to master that, focus as hard as I can to get all that stuff right. The game's just the game then, something I've been doing all my life, so yeah, I'm confident going into games now. I just thought we're 1-0 down here, like, I'm just going to try my best, exploit the spaces I could see when I was on the bench, and that's what I did, and it paid off. But yeah, I'm always confident in front of the net, whether it's a goals or assists. It's what I've done all my life. So yeah, I am confident. I mean, I need to work hard in training now and games to make sure I can obviously try and get some minutes.
I do love that from Nico O'Reilly. I've never seen that goal that he scored there with the Giroud scorpion kick. He's got some talent, this kid, hasn't he?
Yeah, listen, I'm good friends with Ben Wilkinson, the under-21s manager. I've spoke to him a lot about him, and obviously plays a bit higher, more central, sort of number 10-ish, 8 or a 10. But I think Pep said when he first got in the team, he's different to the normal academy players that come through. When you look at McAtee and Phil Foden and Rico.
Size profile.
Yeah, just the more technical and little, where this guy, his profile's phenomenal. He's an athlete. You could see a couple of clips there where he can drive forward with the ball. He's a goal threat. 2 assists at Bournemouth, fantastic. So yeah, he's got a lot of good things going for him, and for him to sort of, find himself at left back will probably be a surprise to him. But he's slotted in there, and he's been a real asset to the team going forward. today he's going to have to be on his game defensively. We saw a couple of clips there, fantastic defending as well. So yeah, it's been a real sort of gem. He had a really good pre-season, and then Pep probably didn't have enough trust in him to play him in the early parts of the season. But as the season's progressed, he's done really, really well.
Almost needs must at times, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, we've got this guy. We know he's got talent. We'll stick him in, and then he's thrived.
And obviously, he started off in the FA, did really well in a few games in the FA Cup, and then now he's become a regular in the Premier League. So it's almost like a new signing for you. But the academy just keeps churning players out, and Nico O'Reilly's another one, and he's got a big, big future.
Yeah, I know. When we did the Plymouth game, Plymouth took the lead in that game, and it needed Nico's intervention, scoring 2 important goals in that game to flip it on its head. And I know you're smiling because you had a boot in both camps, more than the boot in both camps.
It was, and he's 6'2", 6'3", so there's an aerial threat there as well, and he arrived at the right time. But football's strange how it actually works out. Yeah,
it was a great header.
Yeah,
downward header, too hot for the keeper.
It was the movement was clever. The second goal is more physicality. He actually bullies the player out of the way. Which I like, because we'll see it again. That the ball's brilliant, the movement, and then once you find the keeper's got much of a chance.
He makes runs like an attacking midfielder striker.
If you look at this here, look, he's just too strong and more determined. Be really disappointed if I was the Plymouth coach, defensive coach, in how easy, but he's still got to be able to bully him out of the way. Look, his movement there, he's got him touch, and then just.
But it's desire as well, isn't it?
It's a desire to get there.
He's got the man out of the way. He's wrestling with him. He's pushed him out of the way, bang.
Yeah.
So he's got that aggression and that desire to want to go and head the ball.
It's a much older defender whose body has been able to develop much more, and Nico is still developing. Who knows what he might look like in 2 or 3 years.
Absolutely. And I know the interesting thing with football is opportunities when they do come. If Akanji, if Ake, if John Stones is fit, then Gavardio stays in that left hole. And then the way things are materialised, with having that option, and then you get the opportunity. When he came on against Bournemouth, and changed the game, and they got man of the match that game from coming into the game and creating the 2 the 2 assists and changed the direction of the game. And it's just grown stronger and stronger. He's comfy in possession. He's got a turn of pace. He's physical. Very, very humble in the way he carries himself on the pitch, which has really impressed me. Doesn't get above his station. He's not running off and celebrating. He just seems very, very controlled and centred. And, he's been so impressive.
Yeah.
He's been over the last sort of month to 6 weeks.
Delivering as well. So 3 goals, 2 assists in the FA Cup this season. He scored against Salford. He got the 2 that we've already seen against Plymouth. And he got 2 assists against Bournemouth as well. Only Exeter's Josh Magennis has been involved in more goals and assists this season in the FA Cup, plays for Exeter. That's remarkable. All the players that played in this competition, all the players that came through all the qualifying rounds and the lesser rounds before you get to the big clubs. And there's Nico, second on the list. Well,
he's taken his opportunity, and that's what, you're asking for a chance. We're just speaking to young Harrison then, and the pathway's there. And there is one thing you need to have, though. You need to have talent, and you need to be good enough to play. It's not a token gesture. And that's something, another thing I really respect about Pep. You've got to earn your opportunity to get into that team. It's not an end-of-season gesture to show players coming through. You've got to earn that shirt, and he most certainly has.
He certainly has. It's time for us to take you back to Wembley to find out whether Michael Brown is still wearing the jumper around his shoulders. Young Harrison Miles took some pot shots at him, and the jumper remains. FG, take it away.
The jumper does remain, but listen, we're just admiring this man behind us, Phil Foden, because I've never seen anything like it in a warm-up, Brownie.
Phil's just doing a little bit like you weaves, when you used to hit it out, the old sidewinder. Phil Foden's just doing it now a few times. He's just loving it, look. Here's a little showboat, a little bit of the back of the net. FG, your turn next, lad, I think.
Yeah, I'm injured, unfortunately. I went for a run this morning and pulled up, and there's not in a million years I can do something like that. And it is just genuinely incredible to see. He's been doing it for a good 10, 15 minutes.
He knows we're watching him, doesn't he? He knows we're watching. He's kicking on a little bit more, chipping on the back of his neck, some little flex and tricks.
He gave us a little wave when he went up to Brownie and said he liked his jumper as well, actually.
He loved it. I'm going to borrow him it. He said he's going out in it later.
I'm not sure about that one. I don't think you'll see that. But yeah, what a talent, what a player he is. Speaking of great players, our amazing talents on the academy, Nico O'Reilly. We spoke about him earlier on. He's been absolutely exceptional, hasn't he?
He's done very, very well. We were obviously at Bournemouth, weren't we, when he got the opportunity, coming on at left back, and from there on, he literally, he's took it in stride. He got the game by the scruff of the neck, and he was the one who made the difference. But this is the moment now. The players just getting that feel as the atmosphere starts to increase. I mean, absolutely brilliant moment now. We've just had clips of Jack Grealish. He'll be looking to impress, and Jeremy Doku, you know what he can do when he brings him on. But Phil Foden still doing a little bit more on the pitch on his own between the sprinklers. But it's a brilliant feel now. The atmosphere here at Wembley. This is what you want. And this is what you get, isn't it, at this stage of the season?
And the last man out on the training pitch as well, Phil Foden. He just looked like he was just enjoying himself out there. He's on the bench today, and what an option he is to have off the bench. We're so lucky. Our academy's done such amazing stuff, and he's a product of that academy, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. I mean, technically, who is better than Phil Foden? Around the world, the ability, right foot, left foot, taking the ball, whether it's the skills and tricks, he can do absolutely everything, can't they? Wonderful, talented player who's been exceptional so far in his Manchester City career. He's going to contribute more. What a career he's got ahead of him, and we can't wait to see more of him.
Yeah, we can't wait to see Phil shine, absolutely. But back to Nico O'Reilly, there was a signing night this Thursday, which was at the Etihad Stadium for our stars of the future. They're going into the under-9s next year, and the player who decided to turn up in his spare time was Nico O'Reilly. And when I spoke to him and I said, what brought you here today? He said, well, I had Joe Hart and Micah Richards, and I'll never forget that day. So if I can have a little bit of an impact on the stars of the future, that's what I'll do. What a guy.
Slightly different though, isn't it, with them two? But you know what? It's good, isn't it? And you remember the moments, of somebody coming along to set your journey off, to give you some advice. And that's what you want, isn't it? And rightly so. These players give back all the time. We see it so many times, don't we, of the Manchester City players going back, whether it be in the academy, whether it be at events. And I know it's unforgettable, even for these supporters now coming to Wembley today. You're dodging the sprinklers because it wouldn't do well for that outfit today, would it?
It's always me, isn't it? I'm always the one who's getting so.
Well, I'm just saying, you're always looking. You're a bit paranoid about it for some reason. Not sure why.
Brownie, the professional he is, didn't feel any of the water because I was blocking it.
It's not the trim, is it? What? You just relax. It's only water.
I can't wait to go back to the studio in a minute and ask about his jumper again. I'll tell you that for free. Listen, final thoughts. The players have gone in. They've done their warm-ups. They've done their preparations. They've been here before. On the other side, Forest haven't been here in the FA Cup since 1990/91. It's a new thing for them. They're obviously making a lot of noise at the moment. Is the pressure on City today, would you say?
All day long. It's a free hit for Forest. They're just coming to enjoy the day with a possibility, a moment where you can go into a final. I came here for Portsmouth against a really, really top Spurs side with Modric and Bale. We had no chance, and guess what? We come and we got through it because you find something else in it, and that's at times happens. As we just nearly get struck by the stage, FG, but it's as you do. But you find something else. That's why it's going to be much tougher for this Manchester City side. Honestly, they nearly took us out. What's going on today?
Oh, we need to normalise.
Did we?
This is why we pre-record stuff, by the way, normally. And we're being told we've got to move
We've now got to go as well. We've outstayed our welcome.
So it's been a pleasure. We will see you very, very soon. See you in the studio, guys.
Yeah, why always me, AFG? Someone else said that once in a Man City shirt.
We've got to go. They're telling us to go. Let us go.
Go on then. Get off. Get yourself to somewhere safe. FG and Michael Brown. Hiding from the sprinklers, hiding from the stage that's coming up. Get out of the way, lads. Get out of the way. OK, not long now until we hand over to our commentary team. Michael Brown is going to be on commentary with Alistair Mann. This is City's 7th consecutive FA Cup semi-final, which is just absolutely ridiculous. And they're going for their 3rd consecutive FA Cup final. That is some regularity.
Yeah, and it's incredible when you hear it, because it's not normal. And what City have done over the last 10 years is not normal, but they've made everything they've done look normal. And it's only this season, I think, everyone realises how abnormal it is what they've done. They've made something so difficult look so easy. But today's a huge opportunity. Crystal Palace are waiting in the final. Whoever goes through is going to be favourites. So it's a massive opportunity. It's going to be a difficult game. But every time you go to Wembley as a supporter, as a player, part of the coaching staff, it's special. Because although City have been there lots and lots, it's still special. And Wembley, Wembley's Wembley. And it's about making memories that'll last forever.
Yeah, Brownie made the point there, Andy, that the pressure is all on City. because it's a free hit for Nottingham Forest. That was Brownie's words, not mine. But the difference, perhaps, is that City, as we've just said, 7 consecutive semis. They're going for a 3rd consecutive final. They've got the know-how to get this done.
Absolutely. You know, and that plays a huge part, you know, in the psyche coming into it. And I don't see it as a free hit for Forest. You know, it's a semi-final of the FA Cup to go and play, you know, the biggest cup competition in world football for me. So they'll know what's at stake, and that's going to play a part. You know, and they're not going in with a free hit. And of course, it's a huge day out for them, for the fans, and rightly so. You know, I think you just, was it 1990 something you said?
91.
Do you know what I mean?
Forest's last final under Brian Clough.
Lost to Spurs.
Yeah, so
lost to Spurs in the Gaza
35
final
years. So you know, so they're
it.
celebrating. You saw what Newcastle did on the back of their victory. You know, so this is huge for the fans, and there's never a sense of entitlement. But this is familiar ground for Manchester City, for their fans and for the players. And I think that can work in their favour, definitely. I don't think there's pressure on them. They've been there. They know how to go over the line. They've got the experience. We've also got a fabulous bench, you know, if we need to change it at any time. Very, very strong. So, yeah, I'm confident that, you know, it'll go our way.
Forest have only been at the new Wembley one time before this. It was when they won the Championship playoffs in 2022.
So again, it's just a massive day for them. And listen, we all know the history of Forest, you know, with the European Cups, and they won a couple of League Cups in the early 90s. Like I say, got to FA Cup final, lost to sort of Gaza final, if you like. So a massive occasion for them. But as Andy said, they're not going there for a free hit. They're going there to try and get the FA Cup final and win it. Already beat City a few weeks ago. I was at the game at the Etihad early on in the season that City ended up winning comfortably, but that didn't tell the whole story. Chris Wood missed a sitter early on, which would have put Forest 1 up. So yeah, and the league position doesn't lie. I think there's only 1 point between them in the league, so it's a really, really difficult game for City. But we are favourites, and we all expect City to go and win, but you've got to earn the right.
You've got to win the game. What I absolutely love about this occasion for the City fans, for also, look at just the contrast of colours. It's like everyone got the memo. You're blue or you're red. Looks good, doesn't it?
It certainly does, yeah. And, you know, again, great credit to the City fans, you know, who go there more than any other fans over the last decade, you know, and it's... you know, you've got to dig deep in your pocket if you're a City fan.
That's why they call it the Etihad South, isn't it? Because we've been there that often, and it's been a happy hunting ground for us in recent years, and let's hope it is today.
Yes, let's hope it is. Let's do some final thoughts. How do you think this game's going to play out, Weaves? Bear in mind, Forest have gone to penalties in their last 3 rounds.
Listen, we pretty much know City are going to dominate possession. They're going to create chances. It's about taking those chances. You alluded earlier that Matt Sells has, you know, kept more clean sheets than anyone else in the Premier League. He's had a fantastic season. He's probably going to have a fantastic day today. But we know that Forest are dangerous. But I do fancy City, as you know, we've got our blue tinted glasses on. But yeah, it's going to be a difficult game. It's going to be won and lost in both boxes.
Score prediction?
2-1.
City?
Definitely.
2-1 City. Final thought, Andy, score prediction?
Yeah, momentum. You know, I think we're in a good phase at the minute. You know, I think there's players available from the bench that can change it if we need to. And I'm confident. I'm going to go 3-0 win.
3-0 win.
Yeah.
That is very confident. You can see the teams are in the tunnel. What a day for those young mascots that are going to lead the team out. Michael Brown still has his jumper wrapped around his shoulders. He's making his way up to the commentary box, and you can hear him on City Plus for full commentary of the FA Cup semi-final. It's City against Nottingham Forest in the company of our match commentator, Alistair Mann.